The moment people noticed it this week wasn't dramatic at all. No leaked photos, no secret boyfriend reveal, no tabloid scandal. It was actually something much smaller, and honestly, way more revealing. During a recent public appearance, Princess Leonor was interacting naturally with a small group, and for maybe 2 seconds, she looked genuinely relaxed. Not, future queen, relaxed. I mean actual young person relaxed. Then the cameras shifted closer. And instantly, everything changed. Her posture changed. Her facial expression tightened. The distance came back. That tiny switch told me something important. Whoever dates Leonor in the future won't just be dating a woman. They'll be dating an institution. And I don't think most people fully understand how brutal that reality actually is. Because the internet keeps treating the Leonor boyfriend conversation like some fairy tale casting call. Tall, handsome, elegant, royal worthy. But honestly, I think the real requirements are psychological. And maybe even impossible. Because if Leonor ever gets serious about someone publicly, that person will probably have to follow a list of unspoken rules stricter than most CEOs, athletes, or celebrities could handle. And weirdly enough, I think the palace already knows that. Now before we go deeper, pay attention to this because it matters. While Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, built their relationship slowly in public over years, Spain appears to be taking the complete opposite approach with Leonor. Extreme control, extreme caution, extreme silence, and in 2026, silence creates obsession. That's why every rumor around Leonor explodes instantly online now. Because mystery became part of her brand. And if you're new to Leonor's story, subscribe, I post every day. Because these royal stories are never really about romance alone, they're about power, image, pressure, and the hidden rules nobody says out loud. Now here's the first non-negotiable rule I think Leonor's future boyfriend must follow. He can never try to outshine her. Ever. And that sounds obvious until you really think about it. Most relationships naturally involve moments where one person becomes the center of attention. But with Leonor, that balance changes completely. The future Queen of Spain cannot emotionally or politically compete with her own partner publicly. That creates tension immediately, because modern fame changes people fast. One viral interview, one controversial opinion, one charismatic moment online, suddenly the boyfriend becomes the story. And I honestly believe the palace fears that scenario more than almost anything else. Look what happened globally with high-profile royal couples already. Public attention shifts incredibly fast now. One person becomes relatable, the other becomes the institution. That imbalance creates chaos. So if Leonor's future partner wants longevity, he'll probably need something very rare in modern culture. Comfort with staying in the background. And let's be honest, most people say they want privacy until they taste attention. Then everything changes. Now here's the second rule, and this one might actually be the hardest. Absolute emotional discipline, not fake perfection, not robotic behavior. I mean understanding that every emotion shown publicly around Leonor becomes international analysis. Imagine arguing with your partner, and body language experts on TikTok are turning it into a global conspiracy by morning. That's not normal human life anymore. And I think this is where people underestimate Leonor's future. Whoever dates her won't just face media pressure. They'll face symbolic pressure. Every gesture will represent the future of Spain, somehow. That's exhausting. Honestly, I sometimes think people compare Leonor's future relationships too casually with celebrity culture. This isn't Hollywood dating. This is institutional survival. That's different. And personally, I think Leonor herself probably became emotionally cautious because she understands that better than anyone. You can almost see it in the way she interacts publicly now. Careful, measured, protected, almost like she's constantly calculating consequences 3 moves ahead. Which honestly makes sense, because the wrong relationship could reshape her entire future narrative overnight. Now let's talk about the rule nobody says directly, but everybody knows exists. The boyfriend can never embarrass the monarchy publicly. Sounds simple, right? Except in 2026, embarrassment is almost impossible to control. Old tweets resurface, private photos leak, friends sell stories, podcasts expose rumors, AI deepfakes spread online. This generation lives permanently online. So the palace likely isn't just evaluating personality anymore. They're evaluating digital survivability, and that's terrifying when you think about it. Because imagine falling in love while knowing investigators probably examined your entire internet history. That doesn't feel romantic. That feels strategic. Actually, this is where I think Leonor's situation becomes more intense than even younger royals before her. Because social media destroyed the boundary between public and private life. Look at how quickly narratives form now around public figures like Taylor Swift or Mr. Beast. Entire internet communities build psychological profiles from tiny clips. Now imagine that pressure attached to the future Queen of Spain. Honestly, I don't know how anybody dates normally inside that environment. And here's my controversial opinion. I think the palace may secretly prefer Leonor staying single publicly for as long as possible. Not because romance is forbidden, but because mystery is safer than unpredictability. A boyfriend changes the story instantly. Suddenly headlines become, who is he? Can he handle the pressure? Will Spain accept him? Is he using her? Will he become too influential? One relationship introduces 1,000 uncontrollable variables. And monarchy hates unpredictability. That's why I believe Leonor's future partner will need almost military-level patience. No rushing interviews. No public oversharing. No attention-seeking behavior. In fact, I think the ideal boyfriend for the palace might actually appear slightly boring publicly. Stable, calm, disciplined, which creates another problem. What if Leonor doesn't want safe? Seriously, people forget she's still a young woman under all this symbolism. What if she wants excitement, chemistry, spontaneity, a relationship that feels emotionally real instead of strategically perfect? That tension right there could become one of the biggest hidden conflicts of her future life. Duty versus emotional freedom. And history shows royal families never fully solve that conflict. Now here's another rule I think nobody talks about enough. The boyfriend must understand he'll never fully own the relationship publicly. That sounds harsh, but it's true. The monarchy will always exist inside the relationship. Schedules, security, appearances, protocols, political implications, even moments that should feel personal may become institutional decisions. That changes intimacy psychologically. And honestly, I think people underestimate how lonely that could become for both people involved. Because eventually the partner may start asking, does she love me, or does she need me to fit the role? And Leonor may ask the opposite. Does he love me, or the idea of becoming part of history? That's heavy, and this is exactly why I think Leonor sometimes appears emotionally distant. Already, not because she lacks emotion. Because emotional caution became survival training. Now let me give you the hot take most royal commentators avoid completely. The future boyfriend who succeeds with Leonor probably won't be the most famous man in the room. He'll be the calmest, the guy secure enough not to compete with the crown itself. And in today's culture of constant attention-seeking, that type of personality is becoming incredibly rare. Because modern society rewards visibility. Royal life rewards restraint. Those two worlds clash constantly now. That's why I think Leonor's future relationship story may surprise people completely. The palace probably doesn't want a celebrity prince figure at all. They likely want emotional stability above everything. Someone who lowers drama instead of creating it. And honestly, after watching what happened to multiple royal families globally over the last decade, I understand why. But there's still one tragic part nobody can ignore. The stricter the rules become, the harder genuine connection becomes too. Because love usually grows through vulnerability, spontaneity, imperfection. Royal systems survive through caution, structure, image control. Those worlds don't naturally fit together. And maybe that's the real hidden story surrounding Leonor right now. People keep asking, who will her boyfriend be? But maybe the bigger question is, what kind of person could survive loving the future Queen of Spain without losing themselves in the process? Honestly, I'm not even sure the palace fully knows the answer to that yet.